Apparently, Greta Thunberg is now a coronavirus expert in addition to being a climate change authority, at least according to CNN. The establishment media did a great job of not covering the major news this week. Did you know the GOP won 2 special elections to Congress? Plus, AOC gets all spun up over the Green New Deal. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great week. We're going to jump in the news. We're going to start with CNN and their coronavirus town hall that they held last night, and their special guest, Greta Thunberg. Apparently now this climate change sage, the one who is trotted out by the left for her scripted presentations to the UN on the dire consequences of the climate, apparently now she has a PhD in coronavirus. At least according to CNN. CNN's expert panel for a Thursday town hall on the novel coronavirus features 2 doctors, a former Health and Human Services secretary, and a teenage climate activist who has yet to graduate from high school. CNN announced Wednesday that its global town hall, Coronavirus, Facts and Fears, would feature Greta Thunberg, the 17-year-old Swede known for her global warming protest, not her medical expertise. The 3 other panelists are CNN contributor Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Richard Besser, former acting director of the Centers for Disease Control, and Obama-era Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. All right, so of course when CNN announced this, they were roasted on social media. Greta Thunberg? Now she's a COVID expert? CNN is a joke, writes Sharon Lee. And then there's this one from Craig Cochran, which I thought was great. He says, the fact you have Greta on this panel indicates this panel will be a complete waste of time and an utter joke, just like your network. So what's she going to do after this? That's my question. Well, there was a great tweet from Wildcard who has a theory about what she'll do next. After the CNN town hall, Greta Thunberg will be on ESPN to discuss how Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots will be able to deal with the loss of Tom Brady this upcoming season, and how that shakeup will affect the playoff chase in the AFC East. I love that. And I love this one too, especially in light of Senator Rand Paul's recent run-in with Dr. Fauci this week. Check this out. You question Rand Paul's verifiable and legit medical credentials, and then you call a teenager with no educational background in virology, epidemiology, infectious diseases an expert? What are you people smoking over there? But then, not everyone was a detractor, okay? That's just one side of it. Actress Rosanna Arquette, she tweeted this. She's a leader in climate change and works with scientists worldwide. Pandemics will be a way of life until we address climate change seriously once and for all. She's a wise sage, smarter than any of the idiots running this country. All right, so just so you know, this isn't the first time that Thunberg has gotten involved in coronavirus. Apparently, she's helping raise money for children affected by it. And here's that story. On April 30th, UNICEF said the young activist had launched a Children First campaign to help protect young lives against COVID-19, pledging a grant of $100,000 awarded to her by Danish NGO Human Act toward the effort. Like the climate crisis, the coronavirus pandemic is a child rights crisis, said Thunberg. It will affect all children, now and in the long term, but vulnerable groups will be impacted the most. I'm asking everyone to step up and join me in support of the UNICEF's vital work to save children's lives, to protect health, and continue education. Wow. There's a lot I can say on this, but rather than me just giving my opinions, let's pull up a clip that I ran from Dr. Scott Atlas talking about the coronavirus.
When you take the people who are going to die, 2/3 of people this is New York data, 2/3 of people are over 70. 95% of people are over 50. If you're young and healthy, you have essentially near zero chance of dying.
Or how about this clip from Senator Rand Paul this week?
But the mortality is exceedingly low, close to 0 in the age group 0 to 18. Very, very low. So should we say all of these kids 0 to 18 don't go to school even though their mortality is so low? No, I think we ought to make that part of our decision-making process.
So just kind of interesting to be raising money for children to fight a disease that children essentially don't get, that they're essentially immune from it statistically. She's raising money for that. So then the actual town hall last night, here's just a sampling. This is a question from Anderson Cooper.
It seems that, the global scientific community is so critically important, and we're really seeing just how important it is to follow science.
Yep, he's implying that those nasty conservatives don't listen to science, that there's science out there and no one's listening to it. Here's Thunberg's response.
Yes, exactly. And I hope that we can see now the scientific community are stepping up, and they are speaking up more than they're done before, because obviously this is a crisis that require the scientific community to speak up.
What? As if scientists don't normally speak out on scientific matters. But now they are, and now it's important to listen to them. That's the insight from Greta Thunberg and CNN. All right, so next I want to talk about the media. But first, I have to tell you about my friends over at Bottle Breacher. You guys need to check them out. They're manufacturing again, made in America products. This is the best stuff for the guy in your life. Groomsmen gifts, promotional items. Check them out. Just go to bottlebreacher.com. Use coupon code Bobby13. You'll get 15% off your next purchase. Those guys are great. Veteran-owned company. Please check them out. So next we're going to talk about the media. All right, because it's important to know, folks, when you're talking with your friends, the ones who just listen to the media, that it's not only the spin and the bias they put on, it's the stories that they decide to cover or not cover. And this week was a perfect example, because two of the major stories this week were the special elections that happened on Tuesday night, where the GOP picked up 2 seats in Congress, and the breaking news on Michael Flynn and Obama and Biden and the administration's efforts back then to spy on people and to entrap Michael Flynn. Those were big news stories, and they hardly received any coverage whatsoever. So people that follow CNN or MSNBC, they think these stories don't exist, or they're downplayed in their significance. And that's our job, to let them know that, hey, this is a tactic of the media. And here's more. Past special elections in recent memory generate plenty of news coverage, particularly when Democrats pick up congressional seats, as pundits often hype that such victories are a bellwether for what's to come in the upcoming elections. However, there was little to zero mention of Garcia and Tiffany's victories on any of the major news networks. So it's like the media gets together and they say, we're not going to cover this. And the message to you is, if they don't cover it, it's not important. You don't need to know about it. You need to follow what we say and the way we say it. And here's more. None of the 3 broadcast networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, aired any coverage of the special election races during Wednesday's morning programs. The network skipped such coverage in the evening news shows as well, even after Garcia's declared victory that took place in the afternoon. CNN completely ignored both races throughout the day. Meanwhile, MSNBC once mentioned Garcia's likely win on Wednesday morning, but ignored Tiffany's victories. So that's the elections. Those are the special elections that happened. Big news. The California one was a Republican pickup. We flipped a Democrat seat. So that is big news. The other big news of the week, of course, was the breaking news on Michael Flynn. This talks about entrapment. This talks about unmasking. This talks about corruption in the Obama administration. Not only Obama's FBI, but Obama and Joe Biden themselves. And here's that story. The TV network similarly downplayed the breaking news surrounding the released list of Obama officials who requested the unmasking of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Broadcast networks ABC and NBC completely ignored the unmasking list during their evening programs. World News Tonight and NBC Nightly News kept much of its focus on the latest developments in the coronavirus outbreak, while CBS Evening News briefly addressed the controversy. While MSNBC briefly mentioned the news in the afternoon, CNN waited nearly 4 hours before covering the unmasking on air. So I just want to show you an example, okay? Because this shows the difference between what different news organizations will cover. So on Wednesday, when all of this Michael Flynn stuff was breaking, and you've got other news going on, budget stuff, and all sorts of different news, I went to the Fox News website and CNN and just did a comparison. So here is the Fox News website on Wednesday afternoon, all right? This is, and we'll put up on the screen, you see the Michael Flynn case is exploding, and Fox News is featuring it. The other top stories are the spending bill proposed by Nancy Pelosi and possible investigations into former Obama officials. So that was Fox News. So at the same time, I then went over to CNN and pulled up their website, their homepage, and we'll put that one up on the screen. So it's basically all coronavirus. That's it. It's like nothing else in the entire country is happening. So this was on Wednesday. Michael Flynn is breaking news and nothing. You don't see anything at all. No election results, no Michael Flynn, just coronavirus. So then I went back on Wednesday evening to see if CNN had updated their stories on the elections or Michael Flynn. And I'll put this one up there. And as you can see, once again, it's coronavirus. There's Trump versus Fauci. There's stay-at-home orders. Oh, I guess this one's different. They put Navy's UFO encounters, but no election results. And if you look very carefully, you can see one Michael Flynn headline. Can you see it? It's right there. And of course it reads, Barr works to undo Mueller probe findings. So how outrageous. CNN's spin on the whole thing is basically that Robert Mueller did a fine and proper investigation, that nothing was done wrong, and Barr, our Attorney General, is just trying to undo it. Yet we know that this is corrupt. The whole investigation was corrupt from the beginning, and Michael Flynn in particular should not have been interviewed. That was a gotcha. That was an entrapment. Everybody knows it, and that's CNN's one headline basically saying that Trump's administration is trying to undo the good work of Obama. So folks, next, I want to move over to AOC. But first, go ahead and take a quick pause, hit that subscribe button, and when you do, hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're growing. We're making a push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. 100K by Election Day. So next I want to talk about AOC because she got into a Twitter war this week. She's going on about her Green New Deal, and she got so frustrated, she basically said that the Green New Deal costs $0. That's what she ended up saying, which makes no sense, but here's how it all got going. She started talking about a program. Wouldn't it be nice if we could make a fund for billionaires to contribute so they can fund her Green New Deal programs? If only there were some public fund billionaires could pay into, along with everyone else, that helps fund our infrastructure, hospitals, and public systems all at once. It could even be a modest percent of what they earn every year. We could have an agency collect it and everything. Collect it and everything? What does that even mean? So then conservative columnist Jonah Goldberg, he saw that tweet. He didn't let it go. He responded to AOC with this. Man, this is so dumb and dishonest. You could confiscate every penny held by every billionaire and multimillionaire in America and wouldn't cover a fraction of your Green New Deal fantasy. True enough, those are the facts. But AOC responded to that. She responded to Goldberg's statement of facts, and this is where things got weird. Hey there, totally get it if you've never bothered to read the legislation you're commenting so authoritatively on. The Green New Deal is a non-binding resolution of values. It does not have a price tag or CBO score and costs us $0 if passed. So that's what she's coming back to Goldberg with, is that her Green New Deal resolution is a resolution. It's not legislation. It doesn't cost anything. Give me a break. The only people that are going to vote for that resolution are the people that want the Green New Deal. And if you want the Green New Deal, it's going to cost. It's going to cost a lot of money. So this whole idea that, oh, the resolution doesn't cost anything, give me a break. No one's talking about that. We all know you want these socialist programs, and we all know it's going to cost. Several reports have determined that legislation actually enacting the Green New Deal would be an expensive boondoggle. The Green New Deal would cost households on average of between $74,000 and $76,000 in Colorado, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. A February report by the Competitive Enterprise Institute noted. Right-leaning group American Action Forum made a similar forecast in a 2019 report suggesting the Green New Deal would cost $93 trillion over 10 years. All told, that amounts to $36,000 to $65,000 per American household per year to meet the lofty proposal's goals. AAF reported February of 2019. Unreal. She says it costs $0. Analysts say it'll cost $93 trillion. There's a disconnect there, and that's AOC. So finally, I want to talk about coronavirus and what's going on with people getting frustrated, some states reopening, but other states continuing the lockdowns and even making it worse. In Michigan, with Governor Gretchen Whitmer, people are frustrated. They've had enough, and now there's a lawsuit against her from medical professionals suing her because of the damage that was done. And here's that report. The plaintiffs allege in federal court that Ms. Whitmer's drastic, unprecedented, and unilateral executive actions to cease economic activity that her office deemed non-essential were based on grossly inaccurate models that no longer apply and therefore should be lifted. Medical providers are on the brink of financial ruin, facing extreme revenue shortages caused by the governor's order forcing the postponement or cancellation of so-called non-essential procedures, said the suit filed by the Mackinac Center Legal Foundation and a private law firm, Miller Johnson. Thousands of healthcare workers across Michigan have been furloughed or laid off. And of course, it's not just these healthcare workers that are losing jobs, hospitals shutting down, it's also the patients. These procedures have been put off. The news story reports of surgeries, feeding tube, fixing a feeding tube, not getting done. Another patient needed gallbladder surgery, now has gangrene because the procedure wasn't done. So that's Michigan. California, Nancy Pelosi came out. She said she agrees with Mayor Eric Garcetti in Los Angeles, extending the lockdown for up to 3 more months. In the meantime, you've got states reopening. And guess what? The states that are reopening now are showing no spikes in coronavirus cases. They're doing fine as they reopen. Meanwhile, you've got Michigan and California continuing to shut down, making things worse, making it worse for people who need to get back to work and just be social, to just get out there from this confinement. It makes no sense. Other states are handling a lot better, and these guys need to get on board. So folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching, and before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified, and here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.